Senator Hillary Clinton campaigned for former rival Barack Obama today in battleground Pennsylvania, where she debuted a new counterpunch to Governor Sarah Palin's "Drill, Baby, Drill" cheer.
What we'll create in Pennsylvania if you give the Democrats a chance to lead and serve you, and what we'll create across America with a Democratic president and a bigger Democratic majority in the House and the Senate, comes down to this: jobs, baby, jobs.
Joining me now, Obama supporter and governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell, who was with Senator Clinton today. Governor, welcome.
Nice to be here.
Let's put up the latest from Muhlenberg College. Poll numbers out of Pennsylvania gives a big advantage to Barack Obama. As you look at the head-to-head numbers, 50-38, according to the Muhlenberg College poll. Governor, is the race in Pennsylvania out of reach for John McCain? Are you prepared to say that?
No, absolutely not. Number one, this has been one of the most fluid campaigns I've ever seen. If you go back to a day or two before the economic meltdown, Senator McCain was even in one poll in Pennsylvania and down by 2 points. Now, can an external event happen in the next 3 weeks that could change the dynamic here? Possibly, number one. Number two, there's always a 12%, even in that 50-38 poll, there's 12% who haven't decided. Now, that 12% obviously isn't going to fall entirely into Senator McCain's camp, but whenever there's that many people undecided in a poll, there's cause for concern. So we're not taking anything for granted. Gosh, Senator Obama, we worked him like a dog on Saturday. We had 4 stops from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1:30 in the afternoon. 4 stops in Philadelphia where he saw over 60,000 people. The electricity in the air was great. But look, this is a state, as you know, David, with many different and disparate regions. We haven't closed the deal yet. But I will tell you, when you listen to Barack Obama's economic rescue plan for the middle class, you know why all of a sudden those blue-collar, white, working-class families are starting to trend for Obama. I think in one of these polls, he's 10% ahead in that type of voter.
Let me get to that. First of all, let me just show some numbers for some context here. If you look at the past 2 election cycles, when I've been out covering President Bush starting in 2000 and then 2004. In 2004, Kerry 51, Bush 48. In 2000, Gore 51, Bush 46. Do you think there's going to be a wider spread this year for Obama, and what would lead you to believe that?
Well, if the election were held today, I think yes. I think Senator Obama would win somewhere between 6 to 9 points, in my judgment. And it's because he's done so well. Look, in the last 5.5 weeks, the nation's attention has been riveted towards government and politics. That isn't normally the case, even in a presidential year. In that time period, Senator Obama's done great. He's done well on the debates. He's offered some good solutions. His speech on the floor of the Senate was terrific. Contrast it with Senator McCain, who started off with a colossal blunder, saying the fundamentals of the economy are good, and who really never recovered from that. So that's caused a shift. Right now, people aren't worried about individual questions about Senator Obama. They're not worried about race. I use the analogy, David, if you're drowning in the middle of the river and there's a guy on the bank of the river with a rope coil in his hand, you don't care what color he is. You just care whether he has a strong enough arm to get that rope out to you in the middle of the river.
Governor, this is what you said back in February about this issue before the primary. You talked about you've got conservative whites here talking about in Pennsylvania, and I think there are some whites who are probably not ready to vote for an African-American candidate. Those are comments you made to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette back in February. Undoubtedly, race will still be an issue in certain pockets of the country. But do you think generally that the economy has overtaken cultural issues in your state and in other states in this election cycle at this stage?
Without a doubt. Does that mean that no one's going to vote based on race? Of course not. But in terms of that big gap of Hillary Clinton voters, working class, white, middle class voters, blue collar voters, right now they're worried about their budgets. They're not worried about who the president is or what he is or what his ethnic background is. They're worried about what answers he has. And boy, if you look at the rescue plan that Barack Obama outlined today, making the $1,000 tax cut that he proposed for the middle class available immediately in an IRS rebate, taking $10,000, allowing people to take $10,000 out of their IRA without penalty. Now, the job creation with infrastructure, it's been something we've been calling for, the nation's governors, Republican or Democrats. It's a great plan, and people react to that. This guy's got good ideas.
Governor, let me get to one more question here. You were for Senator Clinton. That's well known. You're now very supportive of Senator Obama. But you've watched him as a politician. You've evaluated him. You've gone up against him as a supporter for Hillary Clinton. At this stage, with 3 weeks left, what are the hard questions that you think he has yet to answer effectively that he must answer if he's going to prevail in Pennsylvania and in this election?
Well, I think he's answered them, David, and I think he's just got to keep on the same track. The questions are, is he ready to lead? I think he answered that in debate number 1 and debate number 2. Second question is, does he have real concrete ideas that are going to benefit us, the same people he talked about disparagingly in San Francisco? And I think people are getting the fact that this is a guy with great ideas. His ideas are very much the same as Senator Clinton's. Hillary and I were talking about that as we took the stage today. His ideas on health care and on the economy are very much the same as we talked about. That idea is starting to get through. It's starting to get through. So I think he's just got to stay in charge, stay in command, not make any errors, and continue, as you said at the beginning of your program, stay on the offensive. Keep giving the American people another good idea, a good reason to vote for you. And he sure did that in today's rescue plan.
All right, Governor Rendell of Pennsylvania, really appreciate you taking the time tonight.
Thanks, David.